football was really the easiest part of it, even though I think it did the most, had the greater impact. But because the biting, the kicking, the punching, the name calling that they did, that went along with football. I mean, that's been happening ever since I was playing football. So those things I was used to. The only experience which the Lord's asked me to tell was the first game that I played, I scored 2 touchdowns and I was like a star, you know. And we went down to play another game in Lynchburg, the second game. And the National Guard, they had the guard out there, and it was terrible. So when we went to eat at the restaurant, we were sitting in the restaurant, and the coach, and we were laughing and joking, and the coach came over to me. He said, "Andy," he said, "they're not going to feed us." And I said, "What?" He said, "They're not going to feed us with you in here." And I said, "They're not going to what?" He said, "They're not going to feed us with you in here." And I thought he was joking. I really thought he was joking. And he says, everybody was laughing. He stopped. He says, "Hey, I'm not joking. They are not going to feed us you in here." He said, "You, why did I go there?" Into the kitchen, right? So, you know, and I saw my teammates, and I think that they were just as hurt as I was. And I knew that. I could tell by their looks. Because when people remind you that you're black, it does hurt if you forget that you are black. And I forgot I was black. And when I saw myself walking into that kitchen, I realized I was still black. Now, I walked into the kitchen, and these 2 black people were back there. They had set me at a table about as big as this table here. They had everything in the world on the table. I mean, they were like so proud. They was like smiling, looking so happy. And I'm saying to myself, "Whoa, boy, they were just happy to see me." Right? They were feeling the complete opposite from what I was feeling. But I sat down to eat, and my 2 best friends on the team, about 5 minutes later, they came back in the kitchen. "You didn't eat in the kitchen, we'll eat in the kitchen." And, you know, and we sat there, and, you know, that kind of took the pressure off, and it was really good. But, you know, the football part, I always felt, and I'll just add this, I'll finish, that it was more of an impact on integration. And I never used to like people to talk about football because they always looked at me as a jock, and I knew I had brains too. And they would always talk about, "Oh, you're the one that played football." But I was also the one that made the honor roll, you know what I'm saying? But they never talked about that. So all of that came to my mind in the end because the football brought families together. See, when we went to schools, integration would have been, I know it would have been at least 10 years later that we really got into integration if we had just gone to school. Because when we went to school, they saw us in school, and we went to our homes, and they went to their homes, and it was over. But when I played football, all the families, the guys had to bring his sister, bring his mother. They all came, and they saw that we had families, mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters. And they realized, just like the lady said on the film, there were people there. I don't know, but my father used to tell me, they said, "Get that ball to that black boy." You know what I'm saying? I was on their team. So it gave them a chance to realize that black people were real people, normal people. You know, they weren't like what people thought they were. And that, to me, made a big difference, I think, in how integration went down in Norfolk. You know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.